It was an arable farm farmed by a contract farmer, and so we had to change everything. This part of the country has got a history in having horses bred down here, so we were just really taking this place perhaps back to some of its earlier roots. I mean, I came into it from a betting perspective, really, which seems odd. I've always been a punter, and that's been my interest in racehorses. And I think that analysing, deciding which horse to back is a similar sort of thought process to deciding which horse to mate with which other horse.
It's great for us to be involved with the Sandown Breeders' Day because we sponsor the owners and trainers facilities there. It's our local course, we go there a lot, we have a box here, and so it's a wonderful opportunity to promote breeding to the wider racing industry at our local course.
I think for me it's mostly about the matings, because that's the one area where I have real input, because everything else is handled by other people. Obviously I don't have a great deal of involvement in it, other than the fact that I walk through the farm every day and I watch the horses growing up, and I take a great deal of pleasure in that. And then you sort of, you plan out a mating, and then you're sort of watching the horse grow up and thinking, is this the animal that I wanted it to be? Is this the animal that I intended to breed? And asking yourself the question, are we going to keep this one or are we going to sell it, and so on and so forth. So yeah, for me it is that mating, but it's also just watching these beautiful animals, grow up year in, year out.
From the beginning, from when you discuss the matings, then you have the foaling, and then just watching their development really, and then just getting them ready for the sales and the excitement of what's going to happen then.
I never stop trying to understand the animals here, what they are, what they can be, what we can learn from them about the other progeny, their brothers and sisters to come. For me, it's seeing an animal that you bred win a big race. That's just, for me, it's just as good as it gets, frankly.
Our big mare was Sealing Kitty, and so we were there to see her win at Ascot, and then of course a few years down the line her last foal also wins, so it's great just to see what all the family do.
I think that if punters in particular are going to have a deeper experience on the racetrack, I think it's going to be because they're digging deeper into the breeding aspects of the horses that they're backing, and perhaps moving away a little bit from some of the stuff that punters traditionally look at, like, who's the trainer and who's the jockey, just getting more into the pedigree. And I think promoting those things is good for racing in general.
I think breeding doesn't get an awful lot of exposure in the same way that the racing yards do. It's a really interesting part of the industry, and I think if the wider audience learnt a little bit more about it, then I think it would be only good for racing.